Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for today's press conference hosted by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration and our safety partners across Virginia. Today's press conference will focus on our collective works to help combat human trafficking as well as to reduce crashes along the Interstate 81 corridor. Today, you'll hear from Dr. Gerald Lackey, Commissioner, Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles, Melody Drummond Hansen, Chief Counsel, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration within the U.S. Department of Transportation, Captain Michael Jenkins with the Virginia State Police, their Special Investigations and Programs Division, Captain Sha Stewart, also with the Virginia State Police, with the Safety Division. He's the Safety Division Commander. You'll also hear from Dale Bennett, President and CEO of the Virginia Trucking Association, and Aron Ma, Senior Research Associate with the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute. For those members of the media joining us today, if you do have questions, even if you're joining us virtually, we welcome your questions at fmcsa.publicaffairs@dot.gov. Again, that's fmcsa.publicaffairs@dot.gov. We'll now begin our press conference, and I welcome Dr. Gerald Lackey, Commissioner, Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles. Dr. Lackey.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Lackey, Commissioner for the Department of Motor Vehicles here in Virginia, and I welcome you to Stevens City, one of our busiest way stations. We are here today to talk about our efforts around human trafficking and crash reduction on the I-81 corridor. And what better place to do it than Stevens City? So safeguarding lives is one of the 4 core missions of the Department of Motor Vehicles, and one of the ways that we achieve that mission is through our truck weighing operations. We have 13 fixed locations across the Commonwealth. We have 12 mobile units, and we have a dedicated motor carrier law enforcement division. We do this alongside our partners, and I want to welcome those partners here: the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, Virginia Tech Transportation Institute, the Virginia Truckers Association, and of course, our enforcement partners, the Virginia State Police. Safeguarding lives is important on all of our highways. What we do here in the truck weighing operations is not known to many, but every commercial driver knows exactly what happens in the service that we provide when they pull into a weigh station. A variety of checks are taking place. We're checking to make sure that they're not overweight. We're checking to make sure that their load is distributed. We're checking to make sure they don't have any tears or damage to their tires. We're checking to make sure that their brakes aren't overheated and are properly functioning. And we're checking to make sure they have all the proper registration and operating decals and licenses to haul what they're hauling. It's a service we provide to them. And every single day, unfortunately, we run into trucks that are overweight, unbalanced, have tire issues, have brake issues, don't have the proper operating licenses, or have other safety violations. It's very important that we make sure that all of the trucks operating on our highways are safe to do so. But recently, safeguarding lives has taken on a slightly different meaning for us. We met a partner, Truckers Against Trafficking, and we decided, gosh, with the 25 million trucks that we weigh every single year, we have an opportunity to get out there and educate the professional driver on what human trafficking is, how to spot the signs of human trafficking, and what to do when you see that. So we've partnered with Truckers Against Trafficking to get out to all of the rest stops and weigh stations and trained all of our frontline crew. Every time a truck pulls in and we end up having to speak to that trucker about one of those issues I mentioned before, we take that opportunity to educate them and share some information about human trafficking. If we can have 25 million professional drivers running around Virginia spotting human trafficking, there will be no safe haven for human trafficking in Virginia. It takes a partnership, and that's why we're all here working together today. And next up, I'd like to introduce Melody Drummond Hansen, the Chief Legal Counsel for the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Commissioner Lackey, for your remarks and that kind of introduction. and for hosting us all at your facility in Virginia today. On behalf of U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration Acting Administrator Ben White, I'm excited to be here to highlight our collective efforts to reduce crashes along the Interstate 81 corridor. And on this day, the United Nations World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, we want to remind everyone about the actions we can all take to combat human trafficking. Our mission at FMCSA is simple. We focus every day on efforts that will help reduce crashes, injuries, and fatalities on our nation's roadways involving large trucks and buses. But we all know in reality, this is a big job, and it's a job we simply cannot do alone. We must work with partners at all levels of government, across the trucking industry, with academic leaders like Dr. Mabry and others to get this important work done. So I thank all of the partners here today for joining FMCSA as part of our annual initiative to enhance enforcement, outreach, and education along the I-81 corridor. From Tennessee to New York, that's a lot of highway, and that's a lot of opportunity to make a difference. From 2018 to 2022, there were over 5,000 crashes involving commercial motor vehicles along the I-81 corridor. That accounts for about a quarter of the 19,000 total crashes in the nation during that period. But I'm happy to share that the work that we're doing is making a difference and helping to ensure that more mothers, fathers, friends, and loved ones make it to their destination safely. In 2023, for example, we saw an 11% drop in fatalities from crashes involving at least one large truck. There was a 7% decrease in overall crashes involving at least one truck, and injuries have decreased by 3% over that same time period from 2022 to 2023. So the work we're doing is making a difference. And I want to say also a huge thank you to the nation's commercial motor vehicle drivers for making safety a priority. And those drivers also serve in a very important, crucial role as the nation's eyes and ears across the thousands of miles they drive each year. They see things, they hear things, and they are an important part of the country's efforts and the global efforts to put an end to human trafficking. Because unfortunately, human traffickers often use our bus stations, our truck stops, rest areas, and other parts of our transportation system to recruit and move victims. Globally, an estimated 28 million people are trapped in human trafficking right now. The crime occurs in every U.S. state, including right here in Virginia and along I-81. And we at FMCSA see helping to combat human trafficking as part of our overall mission to improve roadway safety. One fatality on our roadway, one victim of human trafficking is one too many. This year's annual I-81 Human Trafficking and Crash Reduction Initiative builds on the work we've put in motion. Work that supports the broader efforts of the U.S. Department of Transportation and of the Biden-Harris administration. As one example, in 2019, FMCSA issued a rule that bans for life an individual from operating a commercial motor vehicle if that individual uses a CMV in a felony involving human trafficking. They are prohibited for life from driving a commercial motor vehicle. We also continue to make the most of funding provided through the President's bipartisan infrastructure law to partner with universities like Virginia Tech to prevent, recognize, and report human trafficking. And to also support outreach and education efforts and state counter-trafficking efforts through driver's license standards and programs. Since 2019, we have awarded over $5 million in grants for the prevention, recognition, and reporting of human trafficking. In fact, 300,000 of that $5 million went to Virginia Tech Transportation Institute specifically for human trafficking outreach. I'm pleased to be here with Dr. Mabry today and appreciate the work that they are doing to help increase public awareness in the trucking community about human trafficking. Just last month, we announced $480 million in grant funding through our Motor Carrier Safety Assistance Program to help improve commercial motor vehicle safety and combat human trafficking in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, American Samoa, Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, with more than 11 million of that funding going to enhance communities right here in Virginia. We recently developed training for our border inspectors to not only help them recognize human trafficking, but also to ensure that they know how to appropriately interact with victims and how to report the crime. And we are especially proud of FMCSA's Your Roads, Their Freedom national outreach and education campaign launched last year to help equip truck and bus drivers with resources to spot and report human trafficking. These resources are here today and made available to commercial motor vehicle drivers. They can truly benefit everyone. I encourage you all to check them out. They're available on the FMCSA website at fmcsa.gov/stophumantrafficking. We are also sharing information and resources with CMG drivers here today at this way station so we can continue to help put the brakes on human trafficking. While it's clear that we have made progress together, we know our work is not yet done, and we're asking all road users, not just truck or bus drivers, to join us. Please share the road safely and learn what you can do to help stop human trafficking. We need your help to reach our goals of 0 fatalities on our roadways and 0 victims of human trafficking. Thank you so much, and I'll turn it over to Captain Jenkins.
Good morning, and thank you, Chief Counsel Hansen. I'm Mike Jenkins, the captain of our Special Investigations and Programs Division, Virginia State Police. On behalf of Colonel Settle and the Virginia State Police, we are grateful to have this chance to once again partner with the FMCSA, the Virginia DMV, the Virginia Trucking Association, and Virginia Tech to renew the public's attention to the threat of interstate human trafficking. I'm pleased to say that our collaborative efforts, outreach, and investigative efforts have made significant progress since we hosted the joint press event in January last year along Interstate I-95 in Caroline County. Here on Interstate I-81, Virginia State Police have received a total of 25 reports related to human trafficking. Our goal is to ensure all tips are provided to our law enforcement partners who also have a stake in the fight against human trafficking. These statistics validate the state police commitment to disrupting the human trafficking networks and making a difference for their victims. State police accomplish this through the resolute efforts of our Human Trafficking Investigative Unit and our active participation in multi-agency task forces. For example, last month, the task force operated within the Metro Richmond area made 7 arrests related to illegal human trafficking businesses and conducting illegal business practices. State police also advances these measures through our safety division, working with commercial vehicle drivers to help recognize the signs of trafficking. This partnership among our organizations is imperative because none of us can successfully battle this issue alone. It's our working together within law enforcement, at our way stations, rest areas, and among our trucking community that we truly make a difference. The public also plays a very important role in this mission. We need everyone's help. We need the public's eyes and ears. If you see something, say something. Thousands of people are traveling Interstate 81 any given day. This is a major corridor for goods and services and for travel back and forth in the Northeast into the South and back. With this comes the propensity for traffickers to use it as well. If you stop at a rest area or a gas station or a restaurant along I-81 corridor and you see something that strikes you as odd, pay attention to that hunch. If you see someone traveling who doesn't seem to be themselves, appears to be timid, fearful, or submissive, or doesn't appear to be free to move on their own, let us know. These are telltale signs of a human trafficking victim. Text 847-411, type VSP followed by your tip. Together we can fight this. So again, all of us standing here encourage the public, if you see something, report it. Let us investigate it. Help us potentially save a life, rescue a victim, and shut down a human trafficking operation. Thank you. I'll now turn it over to Captain Sha Stewart of our Safety Division.
Good morning, and thank you, Captain Jenkins. Start off by introducing myself. My name is Sha Stewart. I am the captain over the Safety Division, and within that division, I'm honored to work with the men and women that make our highways safer through 2 programs, Motor Carrier Safety Unit and the Motor Vehicle Inspection Program. Behind me, I'm fortunate to have behind me, along with the respected and honored guests today, some of the troopers from the Motor Carrier Safety Unit And I can tell you that each and every one of these individuals are asked when they come on board to be a member of this unit why they want to engage in this kind of work. And to a T, and to each and every one of them, they have spoken about their desire to make our roadways and communities safer through the inspection of drivers and large trucks and buses operating on the highways and within our community. So if we could give them a round of quick applause for what they do day in, day out, we really appreciate that. I'm honored to be asked to speak today about our I-81 initiative and our specifically the human trafficking initiative and the traffic enforcement initiative that we've had going on since the beginning of June. I can tell you that our troopers behind us to date have stopped and inspected close to 1,500 large trucks and buses. And those inspections range from a comprehensive level 1 driver examination to a full vehicle examination and or both. So I can tell you that our troopers have been working hard. They have been inspecting trucks, and they're putting drivers and trucks out of service. So again, they are working very hard to keep our community and roadways safe. During those interactions, they not only use that as an opportunity to stop these trucks and check on the driver credentialing and the vehicle status and safety, they also use it as an opportunity to engage our drivers, which we consider to be our partners with respect to human trafficking. We value them, and I can tell you that most of the drivers that we have contact with or interaction with, they take it very personally in regard to human trafficking. They consider these highways and roadways, their domain, and they're more than eager to help. But anyway, we take an opportunity to hand out our advisor card. It's just got a little information for our partners on the roadways. That kind of gives us a little example of what human trafficking looks like, some of the signs, and then it gives them a way to pick up the phone. There are a number of ways that they can do that. They can call 911, 777 888 373 7888. They can also text 847 or they can submit a tip online at dsp.virginia.gov/traffic. So again, they are a valuable partner with respect to helping us not only be a force multiplier in the East and much more our highways, but they also can help us protect instances. So I would like to conclude by thanking our partners at FMCSA.
Hopefully it's that one.
Speaking today, be part of this initiative today, as well as our state and local partners, Commissioner Lackey with the D&D Association. So at this time, I'll turn it over to the President of the Virginia Trafficking Association, Mr. Dale Bennett.
Good afternoon. My name is Dale Bennett, and I am honored to be the President and CEO of the Virginia Trucking Association. We are the statewide organization that represents Virginia's safest and most responsible trucking fleets and the vendors that serve them. It is an honor to be here this morning with our state and federal partners to talk about the trucking industry's efforts to combat human trafficking in Virginia and across the nation, and just as important, reducing crashes on our highways. Our organization's involvement in fighting human trafficking began in early January of 2015. And I was meeting local contact authorities to report head of our organization that it was time for the Virginia Trucking Association to join the fight against human trafficking. At the end of January that year, we announced a partnership with Truckers Against Trafficking to bring their training to our members and their drivers and other employees. 5 months later, we hosted what is believed to be the first coalition bill meeting of over 75 people representing state agencies, federal, state, and local law enforcement, prosecutors, truck stops, travel plazas, and trucking fleets to discuss and exchange ideas about how the trucking and travel plaza industries can serve as the eyes and ears that can make a difference and close loopholes for traffickers who seek to exploit our transportation system for their personal gain. Since that time, we have hosted speakers from Truckers Against Trafficking at various association events. We supported legislation to create Virginia's first standalone sex trafficking law, to strengthen the criminal penalties, and require human trafficking training of new CDL drivers. We also recently signed on in support of an effort to pass federal legislation that will establish the National Human Trafficking Database. We provided Truckers Against Trafficking training and materials to our members to train their drivers and employees to identify suspected trafficking activity. To date, over 19,000 commercial drivers and employees have been trained in Virginia. Nationally, Truckers Against Trafficking has trained over 1.8 million persons on how to detect trafficking activity. Trafficking criminals use our transportation infrastructure and oftentimes target our industry, forcing their victims to work at truck stops, gas stations, rest areas, and other establishments near major highways, locations that are frequented by our drivers as part of their job. The industry is fighting back, but we're seeing a clear message that we will no longer stand by and allow this criminal activity to take place in our watch. We will all use all means at our disposal to stop this heinous crime. Professional truck drivers are the eyes and ears of our highways. That is why we urge all trucking and transportation companies and professional drivers to join Truckers Against Trafficking. Companies and drivers who want training on how to recognize the signs of human trafficking, report them, and contact the Virginia Trucking Association. Do a Google search to find us, or you can visit Truckers Against Trafficking and do a search for them as well. Progress is being made, however, there's still much more work to be done. If you suspect human trafficking is taking place, please text the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 233-733, dial 1-888-373-7888. Additionally, we stand here today with Virginia State Police, Department of Motor Vehicles, and the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration to provide some safety tips. The most important ones are as follows. Buckle up. Wearing the safety belt saves lives. Slow down. Chances of crash nearly triple when driving faster than surrounding traffic. These spring and summer periods that we're in now, the work zones are the busiest in this country. It is very important to obey the speed limit, following the work zone speed recommendations. Next, do not drive impaired. Alcohol-related crashes are on the rise in Virginia. We must increase our efforts to combat impaired driving. Keep your eyes on the road. Distracted driving is a major cause of traffic crashes. Even just 2 seconds of distraction time doubles the chances of an accident. Never text or read messages on your cell phone while driving. And then finally, from the trucking industry point of view, please, everyone, be aware of trucks with blind spots. The article I saw recently was very alarming. It revealed that a survey found that nearly 1 in 20 Americans can correctly identify all the truck's blind spots. If sharing a road with a truck, be aware of where those blind spots are and stay out of them. The driver can see you, he can't see where he is going in case he has to make an emergency maneuver before the crash. In closing, I want to remind all professional drivers working to bring us everything we need. One truck driver called about a girl he noticed soliciting at a truck stop. That one call broke open a case and eventually convicted 31 human traffickers, rescued 7 other minors, and wrecked a prostitution ring operating in 13 states. Every call can make a huge difference. So So if you see suspicious activity, make the call, save lives. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Aron Ma, one of our partners in transportation safety with Virginia Tech Transportation Institute. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Aron Ma. I'm a Senior Research Associate at the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute. The Division of Freight, Transit, and Heavy Vehicle Safety at the VTTI addresses real-world transportation challenges by conducting research and translating findings into actionable countermeasures to support the safety, health, and well-being of all road users. The Virginia Tech Transportation Institute is proud to support FMCSA's efforts to increase outreach, public awareness, and education of human trafficking, a high-priority issue that affects commercial motor vehicle safety. With millions of commercial trucks and buses traveling across the country every day, commercial motor vehicle drivers can be critical and life-saving eyes and ears when it comes to identifying and reporting human trafficking activity. The goal of our grant, which is supported by the FMCSA, is to increase education and awareness of human trafficking among the trucking community and the general public through the dissemination of information that empowers people to identify and report potential trafficking situations. To inform the public awareness and education campaign against human trafficking, our research team at the Virginia Tech Transportation Institute has conducted interviews with transportation groups and organizations impacted by human trafficking, including fleets, commercial motor vehicle safety officials and industry representatives, travel plazas, and commercial drivers. We are also conducting interviews with subject matter experts with first-hand knowledge and experience in human trafficking, including training and education providers, social service providers, law enforcement, and survivors themselves. The research team at Virginia Tech Transportation Institute is currently developing this campaign. Next steps will be to implement it across Virginia and evaluate the reach and effectiveness for increasing awareness of human trafficking, educating the public, and empowering people to identify and report potential trafficking situations. VTTI is excited to support the FMCSA in their mission to help the transportation industry combat human trafficking. Thank you.
Once again, thank you to all of the partners here on stage today for the work that everyone's doing to help combat human trafficking and to reduce crashes on our nation's highways. So once again, thank you to everyone participating today. If you are a member of the media, if you have questions, please send those to us at please send those to us at publicaffairs.fmcsa@dot.gov. Again, that's publicaffairs.fmcsa@dot.gov. This does conclude today's press conference. For those on site who are joining us for the tour of the way station, please stand by and we'll begin that soon. But this does conclude today's press conference. Thank you all for joining us both on site and virtually. Have a wonderful day.